2, 1. 2, 1.
Not quite Friday, but Friday Eve. Good morning.
Or it's the day after hump day.
No.
You like Friday Eve better?
Oh yeah, you're closer to Friday. So yeah.
But you can't say like,
Oh, we're good. We're good.
because if you say the day after hump day, you could say hump day again.
No, I think people just say Friday Eve. Good morning, you guys. David Sears is in for RJ. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Oh,
So
I love me.
come on, David. Where is the energy? Well,
It's
if
about
you
to show up. Watch this.
Yeah? Okay, well, wait. If you felt a random shake midday yesterday, you're not crazy and you're not alone. I actually did not. I did notice that my head was hurting a lot, but I don't know if that had
But every
anything
time I
to do
see
with
that, I want to go shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. You know who that is?
it. No, I don't know who that is, but I've heard of the song.
KC and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. There's a little music education for you
Thank
today.
you so much.
Shake, shake, shake.
Well, Justin Horn is here today, and he will tell
He
us more
is.
about this West Texas earthquake.
Plus, we got some other top stories, like what's going on with the San Antonio Missions. They got a whole new ownership group, and man, there's some big names on that list of people owning the Missions now.
Spurs, right?
Yeah, some
Some
Spurs.
big Spurs names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some other guys.
And that's
too.
why RJ isn't here, because he's out covering that story.
So he's going to be live at noon, I think, talking about that.
And
so.
Elon Musk, lots of
This guy's
more.
been in the news
I know,
every day.
right?
You
Like,
buy one
again.
company, and this is what happens. Just one company, all he did.
Oh, well, Elon Musk now giving his employees an ultimatum. We'll explain. But first, it's no secret that San Antonio loves H-E-B. However, you want to check your fridge and freezer if you've recently purchased any meat, because H-E-B supplier Tyson Foods is recalling plenty of its ground beef products.
94,000 pounds may contain mirror-like material. 5 and 10-pound chubs of Hill Country Fare, 73% ground beef. 5-pound chubs of H-E-B, 80% ground beef were included in the recall.
Ground chuck. Yeah, I always go for like the lean turkey. So I'm safe. All related products are already off of the store shelves, but obviously not before plenty of sales were made. The products were sold at H-E-B, Jovi's, Mi Tienda, and Central Market stores. The affected products have a freeze-by date of November 25th of this year, so be sure to double, triple check that.
All right, as of now, H-E-B says they have not received any reports of injuries or health issues. If you have one of the products, though, you can get a full refund. All you have to do is take it back to the store where you bought it. And you can get on our website, because I know that's like a lot of info right there. So you want to get on our website, make sure you get the right, or didn't get the right meat,
But you got the wrong
or you got the wrong meat.
to get a full refund.
But if you stick with the healthy turkey, then you're good
Yep.
today.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
That can be a headache.
All
All
right.
right, Twitter.
So it is either tweet or fly the coop. Which one is it? Today is the day for employees to decide whether or not they want to stay and work for Elon Musk and Twitter or leave.
If they choose to say, they've been warned, there will be long and intense hours of work.
So for those who leave, they're going to receive 3 months of severance pay.
Musk let his employees know his ultimatum by email that he titled "A Fork in the Road."
I like that. This guy has got
Really?
so much attention over, what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks now? Just, man. just
Well, I mean, even in the
amazing.
weeks leading up to, or months, right? Leading up to
Yeah.
the purchase of Twitter, all the back and forth. I don't think it's what anyone expected.
No. I didn't
all.
expect, I just
No one-
expected him to, eventually buy it and then, kind of change it
Settle
the way
down
he wants
and,
to change it.
and it's been everything but that.
But, he just bought a company like so many people do.
And who else is getting bought?
San Antonio Missions.
The San Antonio Missions baseball team are as big of hitters as their owners. They will never lose.
Now
The
we're talking big hitters.
The Missions have a new ownership group.
Of course, the deal worth about $28 million. The lease to Wolf Stadium approved by City Council last week, and that allowed the transfer to take place to this new ownership group, which in turn allowed this to be a finalized deal.
The lease runs through 2031, and there has been talk about a new stadium and bringing it downtown. Some say they'll visit more frequently, or that's just the perfect spot. But here's a look at some of the new ownership group.
Look at that. Peter J. Holt, of course, San Antonio Spurs. Nolan Ryan, Baseball Hall of Famer. David Robinson, Basketball Hall of Famer. Manu Ginobili, Basketball Hall of Famer. That's enough right there. But no, the list continues.
Henry Cisneros, that's our former mayor. Graham Weston, former Rackspace CEO. Bob Cohen, he's the former Clear Channel executive. And a San Antonio favorite, La Familia Cortez. That's from mi tierra.
And I don't think that's the whole list. This reminds me of when Red McCombs sold the Spurs many years ago. At the time when he sold it, all these guys got together because they didn't want the Spurs to leave San Antonio. So there was 22 owners when Red McCombs sold them. So this kind of reminds me of that because there's a lot of guys on that list. But man, there are some big names on that list. David Robinson, Manu Ginobili, and then the group of Nolan Ryan's group.
You know, that's pretty cool going back to La Familia Cortez, what that family has been able to create, the legacy here in San Antonio, to imagine how they started and then now being part of this ownership group for
San Antonio Missions.
San Antonio Missions.
That's pretty good. And
it's awesome.
Not a bad baseball team either.
No, not at all. The games are always fun.
Yeah. You've been to a few of those, haven't you?
Yeah.
Hanging out eating hot dogs and
beer.
I've seen your Instagram.
Oh, you do? Yeah. I have enjoyed going to the games. It's always a lot of fun.
So this will be fun, and especially if these guys they have night where like David will show up maybe, and then
which David?
David Robinson.
Oh,
like if they have
I
nights
thought he was
where
speaking in third person.
Yeah, well David Sears shows up, takes a few swings in the box. But if like David Robinson shows up or Manu shows up or even the Nolan Ryan, somebody from that family shows up, or Nolan Ryan himself. Nolan Ryan has actually played a softball charity game in San Antonio at Mission Stadium.
Well, good things coming for the San Antonio Missions. Again, RJ will be live at the noon with more on that. But now to other news. If you were in the downtown area or even out west yesterday afternoon, you might have felt some shakiness.
That's because there was a 5.4 magnitude earthquake. It happened in West Texas, but some people actually felt the impact right here in downtown San Antonio.
Yeah, I remember people asking here in the newsroom, did you all feel the earthquake? And I thought it was a joke. Quite frankly. Yeah. So, but it wasn't. People in high rises downtown reported the feeling, as well as students at the San Antonio College, which ultimately ended up canceling classes yesterday and today.
Here at the Moody Learning Center, there were some reports of definite feelings of jolting on the 5th floor, and just above, 2 floors up on the 7th floor, the top floor, there were some reports from people of furniture actually moving.
Yeah, ooh, rock and roll right there. Shake, shake, shake. That was moving. So, wow.
Okay, so I'm looking up.
Look it up.
Yeah, because I had said that San Antonio College was closed today, so I'm going to check their Twitter.
We have one of our editors actually teaches a class over there, and he said he's going to class today. So hopefully his students showed up. He's going to go over there to teach, right?
Yeah.
So it's also the week before Thanksgiving, So.
Yeah, a lot of kids missing out. So what about that? I mean, that was kind of wild, wasn't it?
It was very interesting, and there were a lot of reports of people that, especially that were in the high rises, that felt it. And it can kind of be, nerve-wracking because it just kind of feels like you're dizzy or something, what's happening. It was not a huge impact here in San Antonio, but enough to where people were just talking about it.
So
3:22 is when it?
What?
About 3:30-ish?
3:30, yeah.
So what's the distance between where the epicenter and San Antonio?
Well, I want to say it's about 300 miles or so. And it was out near the town of Pecos. Fun fact, I used to live there when I was a kid. So I immediately talked to some of my cousins who still live there, and they were telling me the shaking was intense there because they weren't far away from where it happened, but there wasn't damage or anything like that. When you're talking to 5.3, you feel it, but if it's going to be damage, it's going to be light damage.
So we're talking 300 miles that it was felt.
Yeah, but it was felt all over Texas, and like I said, it's usually the high rises because you get a little bit of a shake. Yeah. Well, so that brings us to our trivia question. Okay. Which U.S. state sees the most earthquakes? Is it Washington, California, Alaska, or Nevada?
Oh, this is a trick question because the first thing you're going to say is California, but
I'm going to go with C, Alaska.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to go with Nevada.
Well, Alicia is on a streak, man. She's been every day, and she's 100% correct.
Are you like undefeated?
I'm super smart. That's what I am.
Yes, you will.
Well, remember, Alaska's a big state, so there's more potential to get more earthquakes.
I just didn't want to guess California because that would have been the.
Well, California it runs second, and Alaska by far sees the most earthquakes. However, California sees the most damaging earthquakes. You have more population in California, so when you do get these big earthquakes, they do a lot of damage. Texas sees relatively few, with the strongest ever being near Valentine, Texas, and that measured 6.5. And Valentine, if you're curious, is kind of in between El Paso and Fort Davis, out in the middle of nowhere really, but in the mountains. And so there are some fault lines out there. Can't get some earthquakes, and but it's Alaska. Alaska's had some huge earthquakes.
Have y'all ever felt, like, been in an earthquake? Like, actually felt it?
I never have, really. No, and it's you know, obviously if you're in California or Alaska, it can be a big deal.
There's one in Charleston, South Carolina when I lived there, and I felt it. I was sleeping.
Mexico City for me, the aftershock.
Oh, yes.
Back in, what, 2017?
Yeah,
Which
that
one?
was a big one.
The aftershock for Mexico City.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Yeah,
you were there?
that was terrifying.
Wow.
I bet.
Terrifying.
I bet. Well, the one yesterday was 5.4. To answer your question, David, it's 350 miles northwest of San Antonio. It was at 5.1 miles in depth. There were 8 aftershocks. They were all around 2 or so. But it was out here, just northwest of Pecos, near the New Mexico-Texas border. And yes, we felt it all the way here. Here's another gee whiz thing. So we had the shaking yesterday, and then they had this. Some reports of sleet this morning in Livonia. It was
That's
just
pretty cool.
cold enough. It's kind of a setup where you have some really dry air below where the precipitation is falling. We had a few sprinkles here in San Antonio, and sometimes it can set up just right, even though you're well above freezing at the surface to get a few sleep pellets. And that's what happened in Livonia a little bit earlier. That's all moving out. So we're done with any sort of precipitation today. We go mostly cloudy during the afternoon. We're up around 58 or so for a high. 55 at 6 o'clock. And then this evening we're falling back into the 40s. This cool stretch stays with us. What I'd like to do really quickly is show you the forecast. So clouds kind of off and on today, but clouds really start to thicken up as we get into tomorrow. It's overcast on your Friday. Then we start to see a few showers developing, especially late in the day. So around 5 o'clock, more showers on the radar. And then Saturday, it's just going to be sort of a damp, cold, windy day. This is 7 o'clock Saturday morning. We've got plenty of showers around. This continues through much of your Saturday. This is noontime, even into the afternoon before showers kind of dissipate a little bit. But temperatures, you ready for this? 45, the high on Saturday. 60% chance of showers, windy and cold. Cloudy with a few sprinkles on Sunday, 49. So the weekend in general is pretty chilly. And we've got a pretty good stretch here where we're going to see a lot of clouds, chilly temperatures. Thanksgiving's still up in the air, I'll tell you that. Models still haven't agreed on what they think will happen, but we will be watching closely and we'll be giving you updates throughout the next several weeks.
You always laugh at me when I talk about chopping firewood, but I'm going to have to chop some firewood on Saturday. Look at that, 45 degrees?
Chop some firewood. Chop away, David.
So this is also good to keep in mind that our friends who need some extra help, they'll need blankets, hand warmers, jackets. So Haven for Hope accepting donations, Corazon San Antonio as well. If you have some sweaters lightly used, then this is a great time to donate that. Thank you, Justin.
And we always talk about checking on your neighbors when it's really hot, when it gets to 99, 100 degrees. Make sure, especially if you have some elderly neighbors down the street, you might want to check on them when it gets really cold too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little chilly.
And we're not used to it. And I mean, we were just dealing with hot temperatures and, you know.
So just check on those folks, make sure everybody's all right. They need a blanket, grab one, and take it down to the neighbor's house. Keep them warm.
All right, so you've likely heard of all you can eat, right? Buffets. And I was thinking of like membership subscriptions, like the boxes where you just get everything. But what about all you can fly? Imagine a flight pass that offers unlimited flights to any destination in the U.S. Well, that's a reality with Frontier Airlines.
The low-cost flight carrier announced Go Wild Flight Pass program. It offers unlimited flights for an annual fee of $599 for the first year, and you have until today to sign up for that price. After that, it's going to cost you just about $2,000 a year and will automatically renew at the rate. However, you can cancel at any time.
So I mean, it's not all perfect, right? Blackout dates cover most major holidays and long weekends. Pass holders will only pay 1 cent in airfare for every flight they purchase, plus, of course, taxes and fees, and that includes fees for seat selection or your checked bags. And another catch.
Travel booked using the pass does not earn frequent flyer miles or status, and only the pass holder can travel on tickets booked using the pass.
So the airline says this pass isn't for every person. You're probably already thinking it's too much or it's not for me. It's really designed for the traveler who can just pack their bags and hit the skies at short notice.
And not on holidays.
And not on holidays, yeah.
You
So,
fly
I
on
mean,
holidays.
$600, that doesn't sound too bad for the first, because that's your first, the initial one.
Yeah.
But there's only a select number of those passes, and those are available until today to purchase. And then after that, you go up to the 2K, which is,
2,000.
I don't know.
That's a lot. You got to take a lot of flights to get to $2,000, don't you? I don't know how expensive Frontier is, and I don't know where Frontier
it's very
flies.
inexpensive.
I always think Frontier just flies into Alaska.
Frontier is about, I think, like
Oregon and
$75 average or something. But I usually fly out of the country. And it usually ends up being cheaper. So
On
I don't
Frontier,
know.
you fly out of the country?
No, Frontier doesn't know. Like, I usually fly out. When I fly, I
Well,
fly
you
out
go,
of the country.
okay. Yeah, you don't stick around here, do you?
Not much.
You gotta, all right.
Well, David, thanks so
That's
much
easy.
for joining
Hey,
us. It's always a pleasure. Jinx, you owe me a Coke. All right, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Happy Friday Eve.